Welcome back to the SCIF. I am Matt. That is Stu. The dude in the hat over there in the glasses. Oh, wait. So, anyways, thank you for joining us. This is the Green Beret Life. We are a 501c3. We do this weekly show where we talk about current events and sometimes military things, sometimes guns, whatever sort of tickles our fancy. But I'm down here at the Southern Command. Stu is at the Mid-Southern Command currently, right? And we're freezing our ass off. I don't know what is going on with this weather. It's been beautiful down here up until today, but today it is cold as shit. So how long is this cold front supposed to last?
Through the week, I think.
Oh, great. So we got that going for us, which is nice. So anyways, we're here complaining about, weather that's really not that cold, but it is cold. I don't know how to explain it. It's a wet cold, isn't it, Stu?
It's humid and damp, and it just sticks to you.
Yeah. So what do we got? What do we got lined up for the show tonight?
Well, it's. I was looking through, the news that's come out throughout the week, the stories that I was looking at over the past couple of days, and it seems like I guess it's one of those things. Whenever it's news, everybody's going to want to cover it. So that's kind of all that you see. But Minnesota is just the state that keeps on giving.
Oh, it is a very good state.
Well, apparently, you just go put up a sign, Quality Leering Center, and get millions of dollars for jack shit. So
I always wanted to learn how to leer. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know what? I'm not even going to go there. I don't have to go there because you guys already know what I was going to say. It's the cultural pastime, but what we're looking at is there's just millions and millions of dollars that have been.
Is leering covered under the post 9/11 GI Bill?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it is or not. It's possible. It's possible.
People out there may have no clue what we're talking about, which is situation normal, I guess.
It is. But there's just, and we're going to talk about some of this. It's probably going to consist of the majority of the show, but there's just so much stuff that's come out, and the main issue being the fraud, and then other stories around that. So it's just its own little ecosystem right now. It's actually pretty bizarre.
I don't want to pat ourselves on the back, but even before all of this, I think there were quite a few shows where we talked about the Somali child care fraud, which is now starting to come out. This was first broken back in like 2011, 2012.
Oh yeah, it's been going on for over a decade.
By the Fox affiliate up in Minneapolis, and it seems like that was verboten for them to do that because pretty much nobody has talked about it since, and none of it was ever cleaned up. So it was the big question: is this fraud still going on? Of course it was. And
I guess though, Matt, is it fraud if it is acknowledged and allowed with the blessing of the powers that be? Is it fraud if they're allowing it to happen?
It is fraud on the American people that are paying for this.
Well, yeah, but we don't count. I mean, you know that.
Well, of course, in the state of Minnesota, you don't count for sure.
Exactly.
Everybody is seeing what this is. This is the tip of the iceberg, folks. And when you're hearing now 9 billion, it started with 1 billion, then it went to 7, and then it went to 8, and now we're at 9. This is going to go way higher. It just the blue collar logic. You have to assume it's going to go way higher, and it's going to reach out into many different things. Just wait till it gets into all of the voting and election shenanigans that have been going on in Minnesota allegedly for years, right? So just what this seems to be was a backdoor payoff using taxpayer money to use the whole Somali community and import many more, give them Americans jobs, right? then subsidize them with American taxpayer dollars in order to keep Democrats and leftists in power in the state of Minnesota. And I bet you they're not the only state this is going on in. I bet you it's not. And I think they've already started doing some preliminary investigation into the Somali population in Columbus, Ohio. Maine has got a huge Somali population, and so does Tennessee. I bet you Tennessee, I don't know, it'll probably be localized because the state government in Tennessee pretty much is they're a little better, a lot better than Minnesota,
Yeah.
of course.
Well, yeah, compared to Minnesota, it's a sliding scale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Troy said he just got 8 to 10 inches of snow up there, and he says, "What's a few $1 billion for our new imported friends?"
Yeah, exactly. What's a few billion? Did Troy got 8 to 10? That means the Northern Command has got at least 10. See if Troy knows how much the Northern Command got.
I'll see if he posted in. I'll let you know.
Yeah.
But in addition to this coming out of Minnesota, Trump's doing what he can to push back on things. His DOJ is suing some of these states that are giving illegal aliens in-state tuition.
Mm-hmm. Free,
because basically
free in-state tuition. So they're getting free education on a lot of this. So it's a confusing term when you say in-state tuition, because that normally means if you're a member of that state, you get a reduced rate, but you're still paying tuition. A lot of these illegals are getting free tuition. So don't be fooled by the terminology. They're getting everything that you have to take out loans for and pay the rest of your life on these freaking loans, right? They're getting that for free. Or if you were one of the very few smart people out there that learned a trade and didn't go to college, this doesn't affect you other than the fact that you're paying for it. You're paying for it.
Yeah. Your taxes are going to pay for their education, while you're also having to pay for your own child's education.
Yeah, for illegal aliens. Isn't that great? Or for people that hate our country that came from the third world, right?
And it looks like through HUD during the Biden administration, rental assistance included payments again to non-citizens, but Biden did one better. They made payments to non-citizens and dead people. So, I mean, it's just Democrats taking care of their voters, the non-citizens and the dead folks.
That's some quality administration there. You got, do you see where that like Millennium Falcon, whatever the hell that thing is up on your shelf behind you? Is there something that's flashing up there?
It might be the ceiling fan reflecting off of something. There are no lights flashing.
Oh, that's weird, because there's something in the corner that's going dook, dook, dook. Might be you know what it might be? You know what those orbs are?
I don't know.
They're like spirits or something, but they appear as orbs of light.
My house is haunted. I've got ghosts. Got Scooby-Doo ghosts and shit.
Yeah. So anyways, what do we have? I interrupted you rudely.
No, you're good. I was looking, I was kind of going through the stories, but like I said, we have really about 5 or 6 different stories that all tie into this Minnesota thing. And then honestly, we have, 1 or 2 other stories outside of that to cover. So, we can dive right in with the Minnesota thing and start there along with the stories that kind of are in that same orbit and go from there.
Okay. I don't know if I'm going to dive in. I think I'm going to sort of try to do a cannonball in there and then see if it converts to like a belly flop. How about that?
All right. Well, go ahead with what's happened. The big thing that came out this week was Nick Shirley was doing a story on this fraud.
Surely you must be.
And no, I'm not, and I will call you Shirley. And this is the one that he went to, the Quality Leering Center.
That was quality.
Quality Leering Center in Minneapolis. This was the one that kind of started the firestorm where he's like, hey, what's going on? Want to ask you guys some questions. And they're basically, nope, get out of here, go away, don't want to talk to you, whatever. Well, it's come out the misspelled daycare center at the center of the viral outrage over the Somali community's multi-billion-dollar fraud scandal shut down last week, the head of Minnesota's Child Service Department claimed Monday. At the same time that the owners of the facility put on a dog and pony show for the Post to demonstrate that it was really a working daycare and not a front. So here's the head of Minnesota Child Development Service saying, no, this place is closed down. There aren't any kids there. They're not in business. At the exact same time, the people that are owning and operating that thing are like, hey, look at all the kids that are coming to our facility.
That's exactly what they were borrowing kids. This is how the child care fraud thing started. But what's funny is it was ABC or CBS, I don't know which one, sent reporters up there, and their only job was to prove the Shirley story false, right?
Yes.
That's all there. It's 100. You're getting 100% leftist propaganda. Everybody knows this is going on. This has been going on for years. They've been stealing billions of your taxpayer dollars, right? But the media is going to go up there and say there's no proof, just like there was no proof in 2020, if you know what I'm talking about. Right?
Well, like we said, Matt, that's what they
laptop. Right.
Well, that's what they love to trot out. There'll be somebody like, hey, look what I found here. And instead of being reporters and investigating the story, they'll run out and say, there's no proof. Well, you investigate to uncover the proof and the evidence. If you don't investigate and if you don't ask questions, I mean, isn't that what a journalist is supposed to do?
There's no proof. They didn't investigate.
There's no proof.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They didn't say.
But
and let me see if they can do this too, because now she's got a bunch of scrutiny on her. Ilhan Omar's net worth went from 51,000 to 30 million in 1 year. Okay. How much of these billions and billions and billions of dollars was sluiced off to put into her coffers? Her husband started this company, this bullshit company in 2022.
What is some kind of security company or something?
No, it wasn't a security company. That's the other deal going on. But this company was some sort of investment company or something that all of a sudden was worth 5 million and now worth 25 million. Imagine that. Imagine that.
Your company just quintuples its value in a year.
So there's some investigating that needs to be done. And you're starting to see a lot of the top echelon of politicians in the state of Minnesota have the microscope, put right on them. You're seeing Waltz, you're seeing the Lieutenant Governor Flanagan, Peggy Flanagan, who's a complete.
Oh, they're panicking.
Yeah. You've got Ellison, right? You've got Ilhan Omar. You've got there's a lot of people with a microscope on them right now. The problem is you have so many dimwit. I hate to just keep pounding on this. The suburban woman voter in the state of Minnesota. Okay. Of course, not all, right? But they tend to be wealthy, upper middle class and wealthy. There's no reasoning with them. And they will go down with the ship. And the funny thing is, once these masses of third world immigrants stop getting their free gimme-dats, right?
They're going to come get it.
Who's going to be the first victim, right? And you're seeing this all over. There's something, I'm going to sound goofy. These antidepressants and whatnot, all of these, what do they call them? SSDIs, or is that
SSRIs?
SSRIs, right? There are conflicting stories that now a lot of men are on these things too, but there's conflicting stories that between 60 and 80% of the female population are on these one form of these antidepressants or not. Jesus. And you know how evil. I'm telling you, another thing that's on the horizon is this GLVP1 or whatever these damn things are. They do not. I'm not giving medical advice, but holy shit, if you haven't learned your lesson about the pharmaceutical companies and the medical industry already, right? Do not take everything that they put out there as like a miracle drug, right? We find out that it's not later on down the road. But if there's a correlation, like there's no common sense with these people that are otherwise intelligent people, but they're just so in this cult of leftism. I don't know if it's peer pressure. I don't know what it is. They do not want to hear. It's like they're putting their heads in the sand, their fingers in their ears, right? And I was going to make a correlation here. Obviously, this is very the amount of these antidepressants and maybe some of the other stuff they're putting in our food or something else may play into this. I don't know. I sound like an idiot saying this, but I think you have to look at this shit, man. You have to look at it.
You have to think, man, anything that takes and modifies your brain chemistry is going to have some sort of effect. If it modifies the way your brain functions and the way when look at, and again, not a doctor, but look at what happens whenever people start taking PRT. Eventually your body stops producing it. So if you're on all of these drugs, what happens whenever, can you not take them? Does it make the symptoms worse? What else is it doing? How is it affecting the way you personalize other things? You make this over here that doesn't really mean much to you. You make that that's now your identity. That's your fight. That's, I don't know. It's weird. I don't get it. I don't understand it. The fact that they will literally, the phrase of cut your nose off to spite your face, that's exactly what they'll do. And that's what they are doing.
I would say be dubious. We say this a lot here. From any of the claims that a lot of this stuff is safe, right? Because who's giving you that information, right? And now we saw the interlocking between these major corporations and industries and government, right? It's the same with in the military deal, where certain people that are supposed to be the watchdogs over what's going on, right, are now offered big jobs in the private sector if they modify how they watch things, right? It's corrupt as shit. You shouldn't be in a watchdog position and be able to go work in the industry that you're the watchdog for, right?
Well, even the thing, Matt, the media is supposed to be our last line of defense. They're supposed to be the ones that question everything, but they're not. It's all political. It all depends on what side of the aisle it lies on before how they're going to cover it. If they are going to cover it when it pertains to this Minnesota fraud, is, oh well, no, we're not going to cover it. No, that's their job. That's if we can't trust you to do your job, you serve no purpose.
Yeah. You
just don't.
Well, the media is the enemy of the people, for sure. The media is an absolute joke. Right now, what they're doing is they're scrambling because they've all been made to look like a fool by a 23-year-old kid named Nick Shirley who has a cell phone and a microphone, right?
Yeah.
And he has another guy helping him. I'm not sure who the other guy is. I think he's another podcaster or something. But they've been made, so all they're doing now is scrambling to try to prove Nick Shirley wrong, which they're not going to. I mean,
their first response isn't to, wait, what did this kid uncover? What is this? Could this be true? That's not their thought process whatsoever. It is, we have to bury this. We have to find something that we can use to discredit him. Something his dad 35 years ago may have said, something off color, whatever they can find. They're digging through decades of material on him, his family, his friends, whomever, to find something to use to discredit. Because if they can't, if they can't, find an answer, or they can't prove him wrong on the facts, they'll just, character assassinate. That's the next thing. But
But
we can't argue the facts with you, so we're going to smear you as something else to where your word is irrelevant.
Here's where they fail. The character assassination, all this other bullshit that they have been utilizing against us effectively in the past is no longer effective.
They've overplayed it.
Yeah, they've way overplayed it. The whole racism thing, the whole white supremacist thing, all of this bullshit. Everything that's the answer to everything. That's how the Nazis started. That's how.
You're an ist, you're a phobe, you're a Nazi something. It's
which is funny because the Nazi Party was a socialist organization, which is where all this is coming from. So,
well, Matt, the party's flipped. Remember?
Yeah. Oh,
you know. You got to remember that.
Anyways, this is what the media is doing. Nobody trusts the media. The media is one of the most dishonest entities out there. Everybody knows that. The problem is all of these people that we were talking about are only getting their information from the clown show. And they're a vocal group. So when I say suburban women, it's obviously more than just suburban women. I'll say, and you got to get the men in on this too, Stu. So it's suburban women and their cuck husbands. That's who they are. So that is true. Unfortunately, there's a high population of them around the Twin Cities and in the upper, middle class to wealthy suburbs. There's a lot of those people around, and what they're doing is they're voting for their own demise. But they're too hard-headed to understand exactly what they're doing. It's Donald
like you said, Matt. Trump. As a whole, human nature is, a pack animal. You want to be around other people. You don't want to be, nobody wants to be alone or be ostracized from the group. So you have these groups where they're told, well, you can't think these things or you can't say these things for whatever reason. So, well, they don't think them or they don't say them. Well, they might think something, they can't say it because if somebody hears them say it, then they might get kicked out of the group. And then they'll be, so it just becomes just a herd of lemmings that they just roam around, no real direction, but nobody's going to speak up because nobody wants to be, they're not going to speak up and say, oh, wait, that looks like bullshit because, they'll get shouted down and, kicked out of the herd and left to wander alone.
Where's Sam Kinison when we need him?
Troy said it's the high soy content and low testosterone.
That's exactly what it is. They're mixing soy into the beets up here, Minnesota. Beets.
But Troy said 6.5 to 11 inches of snow around Northern Command, and the Democrat denial and delusion machines running strong. Yeah. Freedom said Klobuchar has been silent regarding all this fraud. Not very surprising. Waltz, Ellison, Omar, and her all need to go down.
Oh, it's not just that they step down. They need to be arrested. They need to be investigated, charged, and arrested.
Because it's either reached the point you're complicit, or you're criminally negligent in the function of your duties. It's one or the other. It just can't be any. That's it. I have no more words. It's one or the other. I mean, it's the way this is played out, and the millions upon millions reaching billions of dollars. It's not by accident. It's by design.
So, if you even take this whole flag controversy, Waltz, who's been on record saying our flag was racist, so I changed it. How the hell was the state of Minnesota flag racist? So basically,
we brought it up. It's like it shows farmers or something, doesn't it? Somebody plowing a field.
Yeah. So what they did is they made a Somali flag, and it's just that was a little not. And just so you know, Tim Walz isn't even from Minnesota. He's from Nebraska, right? So, and Jacob Fry isn't from Minneapolis. He's from New York, I believe. He's not from Minneapolis. That's the mayor of Minneapolis, that the dude who goes and phonetically reads off of a teleprompter Somali, right? So this whole crowd, I mean, this is beyond ridiculous. It's beyond ridiculous. Anybody that votes for them, anybody that defends them, they have zero credibility, and they should be treated as such. Zero credibility. I mean, this is so beyond. And now they're up there trying to say, "Oh, it's bullshit." Okay, well, they're going to do a deep dive. They're going to audit everything, and then you're going to see the real numbers. And my guess is the numbers are going to be far larger, because this goes back for a long time.
And that's what's amazing, Matt, because you know as well as I do, if there was nothing, they'll be like, "Come on in. Mm-hmm. Here are our books. Mm-hmm. Here's access to our system. Let us know what you need."
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? If you're running a clean operation, and granted, there is going to be some fraud, there's going to be some scamming in any system. You know, that's just a given. But if you're running a clean operation, your hands are clean, you've got nothing, and the federal government that's giving you the money says, "Hey, we need to take a look at something. White supremacy, racist." Wait, what? Yeah. You know, but the thing is, it's getting even scarier than that. This other story here, it was a Politico legal reporter that was basically implying that Somali residents should utilize stand your ground for people performing investigative functions concerning this fraud.
Yeah. A liberal journalist,
Josh Gerstein.
Josh Gerstein, this limp-wristed, soy-infested, as Salty Cracker would say, right?
So he says,
Lispy.
He says here, at some point, the amateur effort to knock on doors of home daycares intersects with robust stand your ground laws. Well, first off, Minnesota has the pussiest laws of anything with what they call a duty to retreat.
Yeah.
What that means is if someone kicks your door in intent on doing harm to you and your family, you can't defend yourself or your family. You have to crawl out the window into your backyard to run away from them.
But what he's saying here, okay, this is how the left does this shit, right? What he's saying here is somebody asking questions in a public from an organization that gets public money, right? Which is definitely his business. This isn't a private setup.
Yes.
This is publicly funded, right? He's basically saying he should be shot. And what they put this thing out looking for harm to come for people like Nick Shirley, because the left and the media in particular are scared to death that you have an individual like 23-year-old Nick Shirley here who goes out and does simple investigative work that the media already knew up there. Was everybody that's up there knows this shit's going on.
Well, Matt, right? you do know words are violence, right?
Oh yeah. But he's gotten 130 million views so far on this. And that,
well, I mean, by him knocking on the door and speaking words, that's doing violence to the person that's hearing those words.
So this dipshit Josh Gerstein here, right? And I think you have his @ here. He needs.
Yeah, it's on the screen.
So, but what this guy is saying is he's trying to confuse. He doesn't give a shit about anybody, right? He wants to try to dissuade any other potential Nick Shirleys out there from going and digging up stuff that the media is hiding. And he's hoping that some dipshit, low IQ, right? What's the average IQ in Somalia? 67, right? There's two
something like that.
Some are saying 68, some are saying 67. The media is putting up something saying 80 something.
Well,
but
it's not, that's
documented.
not really a point to be bragged on either way, but okay, we'll give it to him.
So he's hoping that some low IQ individual, notice I didn't say Somali, right? Ends up doing something to this guy. And allegedly, I don't know the details, but apparently he did get beat up. Have you heard this?
I did hear he was doing something, kind of got surrounded by a bunch of people, and I don't know, kind of
a little bit.
Mobbed and roughed up. Yeah. But the point on for this Josh Gerstein is, how much do you want to bet 3 weeks ago he was writing tweets about how we need more gun control and there's need to be gun buybacks and nobody needs a weapon of war on the street. But now because it suits him, we need to threaten people asking questions and investigating fraud with death because it suits my purposes.
Yeah. So
yeah. I saw this, Freedom. I saw this headline. The HHS froze all child care payments to the state of Minnesota today. I did. I saw that. It was just too late to bring it in.
There were even among all of this, or there was there's a guy in jail who has organizations that were still receiving money as of a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
When all of this was, this is insane. This is absolutely insane. And this is, they're saying California, the same type of stuff's been going on in California, but they're saying California is going to dwarf even what Minnesota is going through.
Well, just if you do it just by percentage and by population, I mean, the numbers have to be, just by order of magnitude greater.
Yeah.
But so I will say,
I think everybody here knows what this clown was trying to say and what he's trying to do. Yeah.
Well, you know, Matt, how we were talking about the Tweedledee, Tweedledum thing. One guy says one thing, another guy says something else, and together it's the threat. You know, and that's kind of what he's doing. He's alluding to one thing, and then somebody else was supposed to chime in and say, these people coming here, they're constituting a threat to you and your family and your well-being, but nobody did. He did get roasted and hung out to dry by whoever was supposed to be, playing backup for him. He did get roasted for this take. I will say that.
Yeah. So I mean, this is it is what it is. We know what these people, these journalists are the scum of the earth. They're propagandists. They're paid whores, as far as I'm concerned. Not all. Yeah. We got some good ones out there, but
again, it just goes to show you how he's talking about Minnesota, and it's going to intersect with robust stand your ground laws when Minnesota has a duty to retreat. It just goes to show what an idiot he really is. But I guarantee you, any room he walks into, he is convinced he's the smartest individual there. Yeah, well, and he does not have a fucking clue.
He was trying to incite some action, in my opinion. And
absolutely. Yeah.
So, anyways, what's the next story we got?
Well, this again, everything kind of rolls right into it. We got this guy here talking about anybody criticizing the fraud going on in Minnesota. It's all white supremacy.
Yeah, going back to the well. This is all
this guy here.
If you look at this guy, this guy here, right? Does he look like he may have some fetal alcohol syndrome in him or something along those lines?
Something about lead paint chips or something. Allegedly. I'm not sure.
Yes. Maybe dropped on his head multiple times as a child. I don't know. Something there ain't right, And last time I saw a mouth like that, it had a hook in it.
Had a hook in it.
That was from Caddyshack.
Yeah, so basically, where's the quote right here? All right, on an X post following the video's release, talking about Nick Shirley's video, Waltz appeared to dismiss the findings and frame the controversy around race. This is what happens when they scapegoat. Okay, again, scapegoating whom? For what? Yeah. what's the play there?
It's more this
This
race
is why
card.
they no
class
longer
warfare
hide the idea
bullshit.
of white supremacy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, Shirley kind of spoke to that during a Sunday appearance on Fox News. He said, if you have 100,000 people that will vote for you because you're going to enable this stuff and you're going to call a white person racist for calling out facts, this is what's going to happen. He also mocked the state's oversight process, saying the alleged fraud was so obvious a kindergartner could figure it out.
Absolutely.
And
everybody knew this was going on. In fact, there was a dude that was investigating this 10 years ago who was fired. Well, he was fired in 2018, right? And then he appeared before Congress and he said, this is the tip. He was talking about the child care fraud, right?
Yeah.
Now they've gotten into everything else, you know? So yeah, it's, and you know what? There's another, they didn't come up with this on their own. Somebody was showing them how to do this. Somebody helped them get started on this.
But Matt, I love this here, how they continually want to play both sides of the fence. Walt's office later issued a formal statement defending the administration's actions and insisting the governor has taken aggressive steps to combat fraud. The statement asserted that his administration has worked for years to crack down on fraud and confirmed that new investigations have been opened into facilities highlighted in Shirley's reporting.
Yeah.
So does that mean that Waltz is guilty of white supremacy?
It sounds like it.
Is that what he's saying? This is Waltz telling us he is a white supremacist by his own words.
Yeah.
He might be, what is it called? The grand dragon wizard
something
person thing.
Yeah.
That might be, I'm just saying he's telling us here by his own words and actions that he, that's the only way I see to read it, because when you bring up the fact that there's fraud, that's white supremacy, and now he's investigating it. So he's, if not white supremacist adjacent.
I think people are still rolling by the governor's mansion in St. Paul, screaming retard out the window at this guy.
Freedom says Brandon Tatum, I think that's Officer the YouTube. Yes. He's got the YouTube channel, Officer Tatum. Reached out to Nick Shirley to provide security. That's cool. Troy said that he has the anal cranial reversion syndrome.
That's he must. And that wife of his, holy smoke. Bye-bye, Donald Trump.
But it's so funny how.
Do you remember that? We got to get a clip of that with her.
What was it again?
His wife, who was up there when they were campaigning. Bye-bye, Donald Trump. Turn the page. She's got the crazy eyes going.
Oh, Lord. No, I don't remember that.
See if you can get that. Look it up. You're going to see.
And is Tim Walz his wife?
Tim Walz his wife. Turn the page. Bye-bye, Donald Trump.
All right. I'll see what I can find.
Freaking crazy eyes. There's something really special about these two. And their daughter, by the way. Their daughter's insufferable. Did you find it? Here we go.
Oh, look at them eyes.
We need sound.
Well, you know what that is, Matt? That's Botox. I don't think she can blink.
We need the sound. Not getting any sound. Nothing.
Can you hear it?
No.
All right, hold on a second. Let me see.
I just heard something there.
Give me just a second. Let me share the screen again and do it with the, well, it should share audio. Let's see. Tab. Okay, I see. Let me do it this way. I think this will give me. All right, now let's see if this gives us.
No sound. Damn it.
Turn the page.
There we go.
Yeah? need you to be with me and practice with me. What are we going to do? We're going to turn the page. Oh, pretty good. Do it again. We're going to turn the page. And we're going to turn the page. All right, so I'm going to be watching you because when I see Wisconsin.
Oh, Jesus.
Did it just pause?
I stopped it. I couldn't do much more.
You got to get to the crazy shit yet.
Oh, it gets crazier?
Oh, yeah.
Shit, my bad.
Because this is a pretty important place, and Minnesota helped you practice with this. You just show me this. Turn the page, right? Turn the page. And you know what else that looks like? Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Donald Trump. We are turning the page. 52 days and we are turning the page. 52 days and it is bye-bye, Donald Trump.
Wow. I'm not sure how I feel about you making me watch that.
Yes.
I don't. That makes that's a little disturbing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That is a little disturbing.
Turn the page. Yeah.
It's like all the Botox. There's no emotion in the face. It's just like a mask. It's like a skin mask.
She was the one that when the George Floyd riots were going on and the city was being
smelling the tires burning, opening the windows so she could smell shit burning.
The governor's made to smell the burning tires. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh God. Yeah, Troy says non-thinking, non-blinking, batshit loony.
Exactly.
It is there.
What's the next subject you can talk about?
Well, there's one good one here that's come out. This judge has ruled that the Trump administration may share illegal alien Medicaid data with ICE. So this has been in the courts and of course lawsuits filed and everything else. Well, this judge has come out saying no, this data can be shared, being limited to 6 categories of basic personal information, being address, citizenship status, immigration status, phone number, date of birth, Medicaid ID. No health.
You know what's so crazy about this is that they're getting Medicaid.
They are saying, and again, the word on the street is this is the state's Medicaid, not federal. But it's how all the funds get commingled and everything else. It just this is a good. It gives them another tool to find people, which is a good thing. So
that is a good thing. So I mean, they should be getting it. Break into our country, break our laws. You're not supposed to be here, and we put you up in housing and feed you, and give you free education. This is insane. It's absolutely insane. You know, here's another thing that needs to be investigated. So we bring over some of these third worlders, right, who have, come from a place that maybe they've got a first grade education at best, right? Yet we're sending them to college and they're getting degrees in high-end schools. How is that happening? How is that happening? Somebody who comes here as an adult that maybe has a first grade education, yet we're putting them through universities and they're getting high-end degrees.
But Matt, and I'll just for the sake of argument, okay, they went through their version of primary school, 1st through 12. Okay, you're going to come over here with rudimentary English as a second language. Passable conversation skills at best. And you're going to step into a college level curriculum and perform math, English, histories, social sciences with all the reading, all the papers, all the testing, and everything like that, at the level equivalent of someone that lived here and performed with English in the American school system their entire life.
Yeah. That's nobody's even talking.
That's an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah.
It should be applauded.
You know, yeah, maybe we're all wrong about all of this, you know.
Yeah. Maybe we should if I don't know. I mean,
well,
that 88 IQ's doing some heavy lifting. Here's
the next. They ought to look at these universities, right? And if they find out there's been shenanigans going on, all these universities
lose their accreditation.
Almost all of them get public funds too. The bare minimum, you cut off all public funds. Why are private universities? Why are they getting public funds? None of this makes any sense to me, right?
No, I don't think take away the funds. Just remove their accreditation.
Yeah, remove both.
Suspend their accreditation. If they're not accredited, they won't be getting any students. That thing will be freaking mothballed in a year.
Yeah. Well, they ought to do that. And these high-end universities, as we saw in the Brown, isn't it funny? The Brown case has now just disappeared. They got their guy, you know, right? Bullshit. I don't buy any of that, to be honest with you. I don't buy it. And the homeless guy is the one who clued him in on all of this, right? Yeah, so much bullshit. Tied it all up. Oh, the MIT and the Brown. Okay, what was the motive of him going in and targeting this table of conservative, you know?
Yeah, wasn't the girl like one of the leaders of the conservative group on campus?
Yeah, yeah.
And he supposedly drove from where?
He drove several hours away. He drove from MIT to Rhode Island. So from Massachusetts to Rhode Island. And then he was held up at a storage locker. None of this. And they had no video coverage of any of it. They had no video coverage, which I don't believe either.
Yeah. Okay. You've got a school that has 0 security cameras in hallways and the common areas.
Nonetheless, Brown University. No, come on.
None. No security. What's that? We don't know anything about that.
It's so much bullshit. It's so much bullshit, and that the media just doesn't talk. Do you see how the media is the gatekeeper of information, right?
If they do not want a story discussed, it disappears. I mean, it is to the point that we can't even find any stories to bring you more information on it because they do not cover it. So we can't get the information to do anything with.
So what Nick Shirley did shows them that they're not needed, right? But I could see if you're dealing with an institution like Brown University, they'll use the authorities to mistreat whoever comes in there, right? The Constitution won't apply, allegedly, right? But I would bet your bottom dollar. So, it's an absolute joke. What else we have, Steve?
Well, it was something we'd started talking about at the beginning of the show with the Trump DOJ suing states that are giving illegal immigrants in-state tuition. And like you said, some of them are getting free, but this one's specifically talking about in-state tuition because
wait, hold on. Go back.
Uh-huh. Education equals the immigrant dream.
That's all. They just want education. Oh.
That's all.
They're students.
That's it.
Okay, you know, here's something that's interesting. In Arabic, talib means student, right? So Taliban, what is it? They're students. Taliban are students, right?
Yeah, students of Islam, students of the jihad.
Yeah, they're all about education too. That's an immigrant dream as well, right?
So we should bring the Taliban over here and put them in our colleges because they're students.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
they're students. Yeah,
that's right.
It's the dream. It's the dream.
Yeah.
How are you going to take a dream away from somebody, dude? Come on.
How dare you?
Come on.
Sound like Greta Thunberg. How dare you?
How dare you? How dare you?
So the big thing right here with this is that this policy allows illegals to access benefits not available to most other Americans, making it not only wrong, but illegal. Federal law prohibits states from providing aliens who are not lawfully present in the United States with any post-secondary education benefit that is denied to U.S. citizens. There are no exceptions. This classification means illegal immigrants are able to pay nearly $40,000 less than Americans who reside in another state. In the 25-26 school year, the University of Virginia charged in-state students $23,000 in undergraduate tuition, while out-of-state students paid $42,000.
Okay, so here
in addition to the areas,
I'm going to bring something up here that's a common sense fact. So the average illegal immigrant coming here, because the illegal immigrant that we're getting, almost all of them, right, are third worlders, right? So apparently these universities are full of them, right? And even if they weren't getting their education free, which many states they do, right? And they were just getting in-state tuition, right? Where does an immigrant come up with 23 grand a year at a $40,000 a year school to pay for tuition, right? So that tells me how many of these NGOs were funding their education via our taxpayer dollars.
Well, not even their education, everything.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and you know, I'm just
this is so corrupt in so many ways, Stu. You could open up a book and look, and we're just guessing, but I guarantee.
Well, I'm just
something.
You know, again, like you said, Matt, just common sense, blue collar logic. Okay, so you leave and go to another, and these are a great number of these people that have no marketable skill in the United States. You know, it would be, and again, I have marketable skills in my career field, but even if I were to pick up and go to another country where I have rudimentary language skills, zero cultural awareness, knowledge, whatever, of what's going on.
Are you telling me there's a lot of countries out there that don't accept at least one of the three languages you speak?
Yeah.
English, foul, and profane?
Correct.
Yeah.
There are some.
I find that hard to believe.
But, you know, I think about this sometimes of, you know, okay, I've got my education, I've got my experience, I've been in my job and my career, and it's technical. So you know, the things I do cross over language barriers because it's technology. You know, when you're configuring a network, it doesn't matter if it's in Germany or England or France or Italy. It's the network's configured the way the network's configured because that's the way it works. But, you know, how do you take and bring someone in that has no marketable skill in that environment and they don't speak the language? And it's like there's no way they can provide for themselves. You know, you're not bringing over someone that can engage in your community, engage in your surroundings and build something and do something. They don't have the ability to. You know, I mean, I know I'm not explaining it well, but it's just
no, you are. Yeah, you're explaining.
You know, that's the part I think about sometimes is the people that we are bringing over are never really intended to be self-sufficient whatsoever. I guess that's what I'm getting to. They're not in the position to be ever self-sufficient.
Yeah, some do. You can't say that all don't, because some do.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
But when you open up the southern border and you bring across 20, 30 million, however many people they got across there.
They say 20, so I would say at least 50% more than that.
Yeah. Okay. So So when you bring these people in, you know that they're just going to be a drain on the system. They're being used. I've heard somebody mention this term before, and it's perfect, as people bombs is what they're brought here to destroy our language, destroy our culture, destroy our infrastructure, destroy our economy, right? This is what they're brought here to do. And the Democrat Party, which it seems like that's what they're all about today. And quite frankly, quite a few of these paid off whores in the Republican Party too, right?
Yeah.
It's about destroying our country. That's the only thing that makes sense with all of this. We say this over and over again, but I'm going to repeat it again. The only thing that makes sense with all of this is intentional destruction. And that's what all of this is. You don't bring people from Somalia in, kick out American workers, subsidize these people with taxpayer dollars so the corporation that partnered up with the government can get $15 an hour labor that they were paying $25 an hour for before, right? That is not a plus for America. No matter what they tell you, how it's a benefit, okay? Between 70, I've heard numbers, between 70 and 85% of the Somali population in Minnesota, and it's probably higher for the illegal immigrant population altogether, is on some sort of welfare. They are a drain, not here to help. And when you tell them they don't have to assimilate, they don't have to learn English, they don't have to learn our culture. Instead, they're trying to push Sharia law. They're trying to push their culture. In the state of Minnesota, they changed the flag to the Somali flag. They're letting them run rampant. They're setting up these programs that seem like they're intended to allow people to steal, while the people that are supposed to be watchdogging this are looking the other way. Right? In order for something, right? Votes to keep them in power, right? So, the only thing that makes sense is intentional destruction of our country, get us into the New World Order, right? We're not even talking about that anymore, but believe me, it's still out there, right? And in order for this whole thing, Europe is pretty much collapsed. Europe is gone. Am I saying it can't come back? No, but it's hard to see how Great Britain comes back from where they're at.
It may have reached that event horizon where it is too far gone. But I was just looking at, we were talking about how many people came over during Biden, 20 million, 20 to 30 million. You know what the population of the United States is, right?
It was 300 million. Now we're 350.
Right. So you figure the population was 300 million. Over his term, he brought in an additional 10% of the U.S. population as illegal aliens.
Yeah. No country can withstand that. No country on this green earth can withstand that.
And that is what you're talking about in Europe and in the UK. Yeah. When in the UK, England, the most common name for a boy is Muhammad. In London, in England, London,
when you give people unlimited funds and they get rewarded more children they have, you give them unlimited funds. They don't have to work. They don't have to assimilate. They don't have to do it. They've got the money. They've got the means. They've got the wherewithal to reproduce and have kid after kid after kid after kid. And that's designed to replace who? The English people that were there.
Exactly. Because again, just like you or I, if I'm having a kid, I have to be like, okay, well, I need to be able to provide this for the child. I need to be able to provide that for the child. I need to be able to provide this third thing for the child. The other group, it doesn't matter. They'll get money. It'll be given to them. It's like, well, okay.
They're rewarded the more children that they have.
Yeah.
And then they teach those kids they have no connection to America the way we grew up. There's no connection. In fact, their connection is, we're focusing on Somalis right now, but their connection is to Somalia, right? That's what listen to their politicians speak.
Ilhan Omar literally said, I'm a representative of Somalia.
Yeah.
Not from, of.
Right. And right But here's where we've got to start getting serious, because you can say that it's against the law to provide in-state tuition for illegals, but has anybody been arrested for that? Has any university had their accreditation stripped for that? No.
Yeah.
Right. So Ilhan Omar getting up there and saying that what she went and did in public is go against her oath of office. Right there, she needs to be stripped of that office.
Yep.
Right there. But they're not going to do it.
If somebody tells you who they are, believe them.
Yeah. $51 to $30 million in 1 year. And that oxygen thief is not a brilliant mind that's out there, right? So, yeah, we've got real issues, and it's about high time that people start paying for this. And the Republicans in the Senate had better get their act together soon, because there has to be some pushback. They can solve these judges and the corrupt judiciary. They can go a long way, maybe not solve our problem, but they can start working for it, right? These judges won't be able to go out there in impunity and just do stupid shit like they're doing now. But they know the Republicans aren't going to do anything. They know they're not going to do a damn thing.
Well,
So,
and I've beat this dead horse until there's not much left. But I've said before, and I'll continue to say it until I'm proven wrong, I do not believe the Republicans want to be in charge.
They don't. They don't want to be in charge, Stu. We did talk about this a couple of weeks ago. They don't want. Yep. In my opinion, they completely tossed on purpose the 2018 midterms because they wanted that. I should say it, their masters, U.S. Chamber of Commerce, big military industrial complex, big pharma, all the big industries.
Because
right?
Trump was making their life difficult.
Yeah, because they all want the illegals. They all want all of the bullshit that's going on. They want the partnerships with the federal government where they make unlimited money, right? They don't care about the future of our country. They see themselves as global corporations anyways, right? So that's who owns a lot of these shitbags that we have representing us with an R next to their name. They may have little colloquialisms like Kennedy down in Louisiana or Chuck Grassley or any of these guys aren't working for you, in my opinion. They are working for their masters, because if
they're working for their donors, and they might say you might get the mailer of send me $5. I can't do this without your help. That's bullshit. They're getting millions of dollars from.
I'm glad you brought that up, because if you do want to donate, and I suggest you do, there is an organization, the Freedom. You can directly donate to the Freedom Caucus. The Freedom Caucus are legit. Right?
Yeah,
they're legit.
The handful that are.
Yes. So yeah, that's where I would suggest you spend your money. And I know that some of these, we ought to put something together. Some of these states where senators are coming up, and if they're shitbag senators, Republicans, we ought to primary their ass. So we ought to get a nationwide groundswell to primary them. Right. And to support the candidate that's running against them, and make sure that whoever the candidate is, you hold their feet to the flames. A, you want term limits. B, you're not going to be beholden to anybody but your constituents. That means you're not taking money from the Chamber of Commerce. You're not taking money from big pharma. You're not taking money from big military. Right. And we want laws pushed, election laws, where nobody's allowed to take money from unions, big pharma, big organizations, big corporations, or anything else. You know, this whole game has gotten way out of control, and we need to start getting the right. And it's not going to happen overnight. We need to hold the house.
As soon as they came out with the where they were allowing corporations to make donations. Well, corporations are people too. What was the I can't think of the deal where they made the determination that corporations could donate to political campaigns. That just, it went from the will of the people to the will of the the corporations, because they've
And I don't
done
think there should be
studies.
lobbyists either. No lobbies,
Yeah.
none of that. You got to get it out of politics.
Well, I mean, they've actually done studies, Matt, and it's shown up that the actual public support or disapproval of a bill or an agenda does not matter.
Mm-hmm.
It all is the lobbyist.
Mm-hmm.
So what you and I, what we're out here, what we stomp our feet about, and shake our fist at the sky, to the senators and the representatives, they don't care. They do not even take that into account. 99% of the time. Now, granted,
you can get on Fox News and say all the right things and get everybody, oh yeah, he's on our side. He's standing with President Trump and da da da. No. John Thune is another one of these PR charlatans, right? So we need to start holding their feet to the fire. There needs to be repercussions. And at the same time, other individuals like Thomas Massey, who I used to be a fan of, who I think is a complete turd now. Thomas Massey, he's like, it's his way or the highway. And he's got no idea that the only thing he's doing is helping the Democrats by saying no to everything, to absolutely everything. And it's like, what this guy, I think, is putting on a show for himself. You know what I mean? He's not doing anything to move the agenda forward. He's not doing anything to get our economy moving. He's not doing anything. And we don't have the majorities because whether it's shenanigans at the polling places or whatever, right? We lost 4 seats that we initially thought we won, right?
Yeah.
In the Senate, right? So we're not going to get everything we want. We're not going to. But we need to make those incremental moves forward to start drilling oil in this country again, to get our economy going again, right? To get the illegals out of the freaking country, to stop this grift of our taxpayer dollars, to get our taxes cut. You're seeing Trump fight with this asshole Powell right now. Jerome Powell, there's no reason why this guy shouldn't have lowered interest rates, but he is there. Trump cannot summarily fire him, right? So, because the Fed is not federal, okay? It's not a government. That is the private Western Central Bank, right?
Yep.
So Jerome Powell, his job is to do what he can to make sure that he slows down the economy and doesn't allow it just to take off, right? That's what he is there doing, and that's why we have interest rates over 6%. We shouldn't have interest rates over 6% right now. And of course, all the big bankers are going to be on his side, right? So
this is making them money.
Yeah, that Fed needs to be dealt with. It needs to be dealt with. But you've got Trump fighting the world. So when you have a guy that's supposed to be on your side, right? But he's so politically pure. He's such a libertarian and politically pure that he doesn't vote for anything and is basically giving a vote to the Democrats. He is not on our side. He is for himself. He needs to go. Massey needs to go. There's no other way around it. I want hardcore conservatives, right? But a guy that's there to get in the way. We voted Trump. Trump is trying to push the agenda that we voted for. He's standing in the way.
Yeah.
So anyways, we were going to get into some other stuff today, but I think we went over. I was going to make a comparison with Iran, the collapse of the dollar in Iran, to what was going on in Venezuela. This is another brilliance by Trump on dealing with our enemies without getting into long drawn out wars with the enemies. But we're not going to be able to talk about that today. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we go, or do we have comments we need to?
Yeah, we've got a couple of comments here. Back in reference to the judge allowing the release of Medicaid information to ICE. Freedom said there's so many healthcare organization privacy breaches. Sharing the Medicaid info seems trivial. That's true. Yeah, they can probably just go on the download a Tor browser, go on the dark web, and pull up whatever information that they need. Troy said, "Goat farmer to CEO." In regards to the
Ilhan Omar. Goat / dirt farmer to CEO.
Yeah. We're talking about the tuition. Freedom says universities call it tuition equity provision. Undocumented students are eligible. And Freedom also said, among Minnesota Somali households with children, 86% are on Medicaid, 62% are on food stamps, and 23% are on cash welfare.
Yeah, great.
So that's where your money's going.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. For sure. Not to mention housing assistance and all that heat. And if you get one, you get the other, right?
Well,
So,
you know, and it dawned on me, and it kind of made sense. But in reading this, you know, I was talking a minute ago about, you know, the people that they're bringing in are never intended to be self-sufficient. And you were talking about they're not assimilating, they're staying in their communities and then whatever. And I think it's almost not because they don't want to. I'm sure that's part of it, but it's almost as though they have to, because they don't have the ability to be
to perform in society, to be able to
right. They don't have the ability to be productive outside of their cultural, their ethnic, and their language group, because that's who we're bringing over. So that avenue of doing outside of that group isn't there.
Yeah.
So that's why anything you see, it's all based around that ethnic community, that language, that culture, because they aren't equipped to operate outside of that. So there will not be any assimilation. It just won't happen. I mean, you might have it 5 generations from now, maybe, but there's no longer the first and second generation assimilation that there has been in the past, because the people that we're bringing over are not the ones that want to assimilate, that want to be American. They just want to be here. They want the real estate, not the country. They
want to give me dads. They want to give me dads.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Well, that's my take on the situation.
All right, guys. I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you all for being patriots. I want you all to have a safe and happy New Year. I hope you guys all had a great Christmas or Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, right? So we should be here next Thursday, right? And we will be.
Well, Tuesday, Matt.
Oh, Tuesday. Yeah, thanks. There we go.
I'm like, wait, did we change it?
Oh, shit.
Don't listen to Matt. It's Tuesday.
Don't listen to me, right? So it's Tuesday. So anyways, we want to thank you guys for being here. We want to thank you guys for taking part in the conversation. We want to thank you guys for being patriots. Keep educating people. Remember, this is an information war, and we need to get more patriots on our side, right? We need to educate the people that have the potential of being patriots, right? So with that being said, live in freedom every day. We'll see you next Tuesday, not Thursday, Tuesday. And we'll see you
Yes,
then.
thank you, everyone. We absolutely appreciate it. Troy, Freedom, appreciate the interaction. Always love bouncing ideas off of you guys and the things that you pull up to add to the show. We love it. As Matt said, we'll see you guys next year on Tuesday. And everybody have a good New Year's. Please come back to us Tuesday with the same number of fingers that you left this show with. And we will see you guys then. Thank you.